that I got realness. I just.
What's up, family? I'm Blair.
How you doing? I'm Brandon, also known as The Bay, and
welcome to the Savage Chat series. We are back.
Yep.
If you missed the first chat we had tonight with our brother Corey George, it was extremely powerful, talking about healing, trauma, generational curses. I mean, it was an extraordinary conversation. Yeah. Please make sure you check it out.
Oh, yeah.
We are excited. I'm so excited for this chat.
Yes, y'all. We got buku savages in the room
already. See our dear sister Dominique
and Frankie
French,
Anthony
Oakes.
But
our sister Mai is in the room. Let's get it popping.
This in my DNA. I got millions. I got riches building in my DNA. I got guns. I got people that rush inside my DNA.
Hey.
Yeah, that's him again. The sound that.
We're not about to mess with Instagram.
They will shut us
every down.
Right, exactly. But that is one of my favorites, though. So we're going to get to that in a second. But everybody, please take a second to take all this melanin in. Y'all.
Sis,
people,
don't murder us. Too bad, sis.
Play with her.
I had to decide. I was like, am I gonna wear my openly black, like the openly black? No, is that openly black. Or am I gonna do my VP?
You know,
I mean, represent for Howard.
You had to represent.
I had to go with the VP. Can you see it? I feel like.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Okay.
Y'all, everybody,
family, we are excited and honored, and you know, this is a week of bison. It seems like at the Savage Chat series to welcome my dear bison sister, poet, educator,
author.
She has done. She's done everything.
Yeah.
She did everything this morning. She did everything this morning.
Come on now,
too.
Hey,
wait, what happened? I can't hear you. Say it again.
You twist blocks too. I mean,
do everything. All the things.
Blocks. Like I'll edit your document. If you need to get into graduate school, like I'm gonna edit your whole personal statement so that you get that PhD.
See, come on now.
Whatever you need.
Black excellence.
Family, my sister Mai Perkins is in the house tonight. Oh my goodness, my love. Welcome to the Savage Chat series. I'm so grateful for this moment.
Okay, so you got the party jumping with Kendrick Lamar's DNA. It is probably my favorite on that whole album. Just anthem, like
loyalty and royalty inside my DNA. Come on.
Cocaine, quarter piece. Got war and peace inside my
war
DNA.
And peace.
Hello, all of it.
And I thought it was savage. I thought it was savage because of like all the stuff he says of like he's like user, and then he goes into everything that you are.
Oh right? Yes. Oh yes. He goes in and your daddy probably snitched.
Your daddy probably snitched. That's my lyric.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. He goes in. All the way in. No. Shout out to the Pulitzer Prize winning Kendrick Lamar.
The Pulitzer Prize winning Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Duckworth.
Black excellence.
Black excellence, for real. So
I always gotta do that.
Before we dive,
shout out to Dominique in the building.
It's so good to see you in the building. I guess you got a reminder.
Right. So before we dive in, though, you got to tell us. I mean, this has been an extraordinary year. How are you doing? How are you staying well and maintaining this beautiful glow? I mean,
you know what? This makes me miss you so much. Like I wish I could hug you.
You know what? Hey. I love both of y'all. I wish I could hug you. Babe, I wish I knew you more than I do know you, but what I do know about you, I remember running into Babe one time, like, I want to say Penn Station.
You know. Yeah. What is it?
Pentagon City?
No, the station.
Grand Central?
No, not
Union Station.
No,
Union Station.
New York.
I'm like, all the stations are in my head.
Oh yeah, it was. I thought it was the other one.
Up the escalator, and he's coming. I'm probably going back to New York.
I remember that.
And I'm like, "Are you Bae?"
I remember that.
I
remember you telling me that.
Why are you so tall?
Yeah,
Like,
I remember
I'm
that.
almost
You
6
used to-
feet myself, so like anybody that I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's real. That's
So
real.
that was one of our, and then of course the two of you guys came down to New York one time. We got a chance to hang out.
Yes.
But I look forward to being able to like just sit down and break bread. Everybody is vaccinated, got my melanin shots. Ready.
Man.
But how my year's been going, because that's the question, right?
How are you feeling?
How you feeling now? How you doing?
Like, how are
you know what?
How you feeling?
2021 is shaping up nice. 2020 put everybody through the ringer. As most of my friends and like loved ones know, it was a little hard for me just because of like some family things going on, and like my father's health, and flying back and forth to California during the pandemic. But to God be the glory, my father is definitely my dad is definitely recovering, and the beautiful thing is that I've gotten to spend more time with my family, just to bring the audience up to speed, all 2,500 of you guys watching. But like I live in New York and I've been here about 17 years. And so I tend to go home maybe like once or twice a year, maybe for 5 days or something. Like it's always a very quick, fast in and out. COVID hits and my father got sick, not from COVID, but from some other things. And next thing I know, I'm in California for like 4 months. It's the first time I had been home that long, since actually moving here. So the benefit, I guess, in a lot of ways is that I could take the time and go and just sit at my parents' feet and be of service to them, help out in ways that I could. Try not to get on their nerves too much, because you know how that
That's
is.
real. That's a real thing.
But 2021 comes around. I was able to like talk about doing things. I started a whole new career thanks to Dominique. Thanks to Dima. Shout out to like the Black crew, the Black film industry in California, around the country holding it down. I'm a writer by trade, as you guys well know. You said I'm a poet, author. I've been working in education, but I kind of knew that even before the pandemic hit, I knew that like 2020 was likely going to be my last year like working in education. Just like it wasn't where my soul felt. Well, I want to put a pin in that because it does feel good. And there is purpose in like pouring into the lives of children.
Of course.
I worked at a school that was down the street from my house. A lot of times I felt more like an auntie in the building than like an actual, like instructor or teacher. I was running the tech lab, all this other stuff. But I actually knew that even though I'm fulfilling a purpose, like this is not like my
it.
It's not my purpose. I can do things well. I'm going to do everything well for the most part. I'm going to show up, trying to give that Black excellence because that's what we do.
That's who you are. That is who you are.
We do.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
So I'm using a lot of words basically to say I knew that 2020 was going to be my last year working in this position that I had from like 2017. And what did I do? I put in my resignation.
Yes.
And I had the faith, like I took the leap of faith. I didn't know where I was going to land. But I took the leap of faith. And maybe like a month or two later, Dominique, my homegirl, our homegirl, she texts me and she's like, "What are you doing on Saturday? I need you to come on this Zoom. You would be perfect as a documentary film archivist and, what is it, researcher?" And I'm like, "What? Like what?" She's like, "No, just come on the Zoom." And I go on the Zoom and it literally was the on-ramp to me starting like this whole new career in documentary film. And like I spend my days all day, every day feeling so fulfilled. I'm like, wow, my favorite class at Howard University, like I'm doing this professionally. You know what I mean? Blacks in the arts and everything. So
Blacks in the arts.
Blacks in the arts.
Oh my God, that's
the right facts. Yep. And so
if you went to Howard University, HU, and took Blacks in the Arts with Joe Selman, My goodness.
Yes.
What an
extraordinary. Henrietta Edmonds, like that class was so defining for me. And so for it to come full circle, you know, 20 years later, basically, and to every day, even though I'm working remotely, like feel like I'm going in, I'm logging in, and the work that I'm doing for the 8-hour period is like, God, this is literally this type of stuff, the content and the characters and the you know, the understanding, the philosophical conversations, all Black, all Black today. Now here's the rub: I'm the only Black person on my team.
Yes.
Well, everything for a reason.
Full, very wonderful, talented, you know, women that I'm learning from, but I'm like the only Black woman. But when Black History Month came up February 1st, and I was like, Happy Black History Month, and they were like, well, you know, technically every day is Black History Month around here, just because of like the content that we do.
That's right.
You know, on PBS, Black History, like 365. So
well, listen, if there is a Black person to have that position, to be the one at the table, you are. They got the right one, baby.
Listen.
They got the right one.
I will jump down a rabbit hole. All I need is a name.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and like a city, like a locale, and I'm going all the way down. I'm gonna pull up the whole receipts of what happened, when did it happen, who were the people, like
come through.
All of the things.
We love the receipts around here. We love receipts.
And again, like just the idea of falling into something, even though I really do feel like it was ordained.
No,
you know
there's
like
no. I knew this story
steps.
already. I knew this story already, right?
But I mean, you got to take us back though, because in addition to the work that you're doing, you're also a published writer and poet. Come on.
The walking nerve ending.
Come on now.
The walking nerve ending.
So I mean, you got to take us back. I mean, did you always see yourself though as a creative, as somebody in the arts, as somebody who would be working in the arts?
So whereas I could not necessarily paint and plot what my professional path was going to be, you know, I'm one of those people, very nonlinear. You know what I mean? I'm not going to step on A and then like go from B, C, D all the way to Z. Like that doesn't even work for how my brain is wired, you know? And so I've always been a creative. I was a creative in elementary school. First of all, I'm second generation creative. Like my father's a writer, he's a poet, was a funk musician in the 70s. And even before that, like, he played from when he was very young up until he like retired out of entertainment, I guess. And so, like I was always a creative, you know, to dance and theater arts, all this other stuff when I was in high school. And then I got to Howard and I was a fine arts major, visual arts, second floor. And like one of those people that like, I took sculpture, I took drawing, I took art history, photography, all of the things, right? Our history was really one that is playing a part in what I do now, because everything I have to do is related to history. So anyway, to answer your question, I was always a creative. Like I live outside the box. I live for being off the beaten path, you know. Inside the box, how do you make the box? Inside the box.
I don't know how to make a box. See, there you go.
Inside the box doesn't work from my mind. No, you know what I mean?
No. You know, the last 2 days specifically have been so special because I'm, you know, looking across at family. You know, and this is such a blessing for me to share this moment with people who have been such an integral part of. We've been such an integral part of each other's journeys. Yeah, you know, folks who you know, we have late night and early morning conversations and all of the things, and have for years.
Absolutely.
You know, what have you learned about yourself since our days at Howard? Since you were teaching me things when I was at Howard.
Let me tell you. So what I've learned is that I am the quintessential late bloomer, and that it's okay, because Eric Roberson, who's another illustrious bison, you know, has a song called "Dreams Don't Have Deadlines," and that song, as soon as I heard it, dreams don't have deadlines. It doesn't matter how long it takes to accomplish something. So in terms of like the walking nerve ending, I'm also one of those educated Black girls. I like to keep going back and getting degrees. So I have 2 master's degrees, but like my first master's is in creative writing from Sarah Lawrence College. And while at Sarah Lawrence, I had to work on my thesis, which was a body of work. And I always said, okay, at some point, this body of work that I did to have my degree conferred, like I'm gonna need to actually publish it, you know. And so, but it takes, because I do so many things, it literally takes me a long time, to actually finish something. So whereas the reason I have 2 is like, this is the first one that was published, The Walking Nerve Ending. And then this is, how do you say it? The second edition, right?
Yeah, second edition.
The extended second edition. And so I decided to finally sit down in 2018, which was about 12 years after I finished writing the bulk of the content in this book. I like to call it an autobiographical book of poems and reflections, so essays, if you will. The content, love, of course, agape love, familial love, romantic love, eros, you know, my love of food, my love of travel, been around the world. And so all of that is documented in the Walking Nerve. And it took a while, but I'm so, you know, I'm so fulfilled that it's actually complete at this point. So I'm technically working on my second book. Hopefully it won't take 10 years for me to finish.
I'm not gonna let you.
No, accountability.
I'm not gonna let you. So we can help me do the same thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about that offline.
Oh, I was like, okay. Yeah.
She's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if anybody's just coming in and has missed any of this extraordinary chat, one, we will be uploading it to our wall as soon as we are done. So make sure you're following the Blairisms, and everybody from the Blairisms family, make sure you're following Fly My 16. Fly My 16. Fly My 16.
16.
Hit the button. Hit the button, y'all. Hit the button.
This is what I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
You've been around the world in III, right? You just mentioned your travels. You were the first. Cause I know we gotta at least name the history that was made.
Okay. Oh. So
tell people. Tell people.
Yeah, lay it out.
You're a history making educator.
So here it is, right? I studied fine arts at Howard. Right. When I got back to California, in 2000, right, it was my intention to actually join the Peace Corps. Applied for the Peace Corps, got accepted into the Peace Corps. 9/11 happened in September, of course, of 2001. And I was supposed to be deployed like sometime between September and December of 2001. So because of, you know, the whole terrorist attack, there was nobody being deployed to go anywhere. And so that just completely recalculated my route. And I started teaching in Los Angeles. Like I was an art teacher for like the little babies in Los Angeles for a couple of years. And I did that as I was preparing to come to New York to go to Sarah Lawrence, right? So get to Sarah Lawrence, finish, I'm working, all this other stuff. I was teaching on the college level. I've literally done from kindergarten all the way up to college. So I'm teaching at the college level in New York about, 4 years or so. And so when you teach, of course, you have spring break. And so years later, it's spring break. And I'm literally sitting there like, I feel like I want to leave the country. Like what? I don't have many regrets, but one regret was that I did not study abroad when I was in undergrad.
Very bad.
Dinner has made it to the door. We are in COVID times, and so we had to have dinner delivered today, and so he had to answer the door.
As soon as we hang up, dinner's gonna be deliverable here.
Listen. If you just walked in the room, please make sure you are following my sister, Fly My 16.
Yes.
Please make sure you're following the Blairisms. We will be uploading this. I want you to wait a second to finish till Bill Bates get back. That's why I'm doing this kind of stay tuned for that. Commercial. That's what I was saying. So we'll be
Blairisms.com and get your VC, tank
You
top.
do commercials like Bay does. Baby, like, okay, everybody, go to the website right now.
Go to the website. Like, so I'm going to sip a little bit on my little mango.
Come on now.
Whatever.
Salud, my love.
Salud.
Salud.
So now, please finish. Please.
So yes, I'm sitting in my apartment in Brooklyn, 2012, and I'm like, I never went abroad when I was in college. I wonder how I can figure this out now. And I had known several friends of mine teaching in the Middle East, teaching in Korea, teaching, all over the world. So I was like, oh, that seems to be like very easy to get into.
Why not?
Let me tell you how easy it was. I put in the application, and within like, I don't know, 2 days. 2 days later, I get an email and they're like, hi, we'd like to interview you. And I'm like, okay, it was like a preliminary. And they said, well, are you interested in going to the Middle East? And I'm like, never thought about it. I've never gone, but I know some people, in UAE and Saudi and Qatar, these different places. So long story short, it's a very long story.
Yeah.
Long story short, I end up getting a ticket, a one-way ticket to go to the Emirates. And so when you go to the Emirates, like there's two different organizations that you might work for, both government, organizations, but you might be in any one of the 7. And so some people were in Abu Dhabi, some were in Dubai, some were in, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, all this other stuff. I was in an Emirate called Ajman. And it was a brand new school that they had built. It was like a campus, like not a school. Now we're not talking about no little rinky-dink school that's on the corner. We're talking about a sprawling, brand new campus.
UAE in the 2000s. Oh yes.
Now we wore Busta Rhymes, Arab money out.
Oh yeah.
Dominique, don't make me put you out of the room. I cannot deal with her.
So I end up. When I got my offer letter, they were like, we're going to put you in the young ladies school. Because of course, since, they're Emirati, they're, Muslim young men and women, they don't go to school together, you know. So the whole time I'm thinking I'm going to go and I'm going to be working with the young ladies. But when I arrived, they're like, oh no, we're going to put you in the school with the young men, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, Emirati young men, not children, not boys, but like young men. And so I'm like, but that's not what my contract said, right? Like, no, it's fine. We're gonna. So
no, they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
No, you'll be good. No, you'll be good.
You're fine.
And so I end up in the room, first day of classes, and I'm like, oh my God, like these young men have never met a Black American woman, let alone had a Black American woman who was their authority, who got to tell them or had to tell them what to do with the expectation that they actually would do it. There was a huge learning curve for both of us. For myself, as like an educator that has never, I'm like, I'm here supposed to be teaching English, but I'm actually teaching these boys how to respect a woman, how to take orders from a woman, what tolerance is. I was teaching them self-control. They would eat like sunflower seeds and then spit them out on the floor so that, the shells would pile up on the floor, and I would get so angry. And I would yell at them like I was their mother. But then I would be like, I'm not your mother or your maid. You're going to clean these things. And they were like, Miss, please. Don't yell, Miss. Calm down. Miss, please. And I'm like, I'll calm down when you clean up these sunflower shells. Right.
Simple stuff.
And then one of them had the nerve to go out and get like the little Sri Lankan boy to come, the house boy to come and clean it up. And I'm like, no. So
you're like, no, that's not.
That's such a random story, but like it plays into the fact that we had to like cross through. It was like kind of like, I don't know, trial by fire a little bit for your girl, because I had never had a panic attack in my life, but like some of them early days, I would be in the bathroom hyperventilating. Like, how am I gonna get through this?
Wow.
And then fast forward 3, 4, 5 months later, and the boys are like, "Oh, Miss," they're giving me hearts. Miss, love you, Miss Mai. Oh, Miss Mai, My father, he'll take you up on a helicopter ride. I'm like, Habibi, I'm not going on a helicopter with your father. Like, that's not going to happen.
I can't.
You know.
I can't. No. That UAE money.
That UAE money. They said, let's take you out on the helicopter, Miss. I said, no, sir.
As somebody who has so many experiences, done so many things, and especially like, what is your advice to young creatives, young Black creatives out there who are like looking at going into the world and trying to find their way?
So, you know, the first thing a young Black creative always has to do is look within and actually understand what their voice is, right?
Yes.
Whether you're a writer, whether you're a vocalist, even if you're like a visual artist, you still have to find like your print, you know, your fingerprint that is distinct, you know. I think that's one thing. Another thing is like to not get so caught up in trying to compare yourselves to other people that are doing what you do. And I'm speaking to myself a lot, in a lot of ways, because there are a lot of things that I do, but because I do a lot of creative, you know, some days I'm like in this lane and other days I'm in this lane. I feel like sometimes everything is kind of like falling by the wayside because I can't really hone in on that one thing. And so just like the encouragement of, again, there's no deadline, you know. I live for the muse. If the muse hits me at like 2 a.m. on a random Wednesday and I cannot sleep until I get this artistic work completed, then I gotta go with the muse. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So to not try to compare. Here's a big thing, and let me know what you guys feel about this. I'm feeling some kind of way about like my relationship with social media, and like I've had a couple of conversations with friends like over the last few months, and even like the notifications and the constant contact that we have at all times with everybody. And sometimes I feel like it's that constant contact, like the memes coming from this way and the text coming from this way and the tag, you know, you're tagged in this from this way. And before you know it, like 3 hours have passed just trying to like scroll and get through everything that you've been notified about. And now like your brain is, you know, you can't.
Imagine running your business.
No.
Kind of through,
God bless them.
Kind of through
I can't
social
do it.
media. I mean,
I can't.
The way,
to your point about the anxiety and the nervous, like I can't do it, so I completely like shut down. So people like don't ever hear from me on social media. They don't ever. I take like 5-10 minute breaks to like stuff to make sure people know that I'm still alive.
Right.
And that's about all you get. I can't. But I have so much anxiety.
When you have, I mean, you know, because so much of the world in business is conducted through social media now, and you know, we not only have a brand that we started through my musings on social media. We marketed it
to my life.
We marketed it through social media, on social media. We've now started a show on social media. And so here we are. So I understand.
It's about boundaries. I think everybody has to figure out how to navigate it.
You literally are in my brain right now because it's that idea of like, how do you set boundaries for yourself? And then once you set them for yourself, how do you even get like your peers and your friends and everybody that is used to contacting you? How do you get them to also adhere to your boundaries without seeming like you're trying to like strong arm and cut people off? You see what I'm saying?
No, that's real.
Bay has the luxury of nobody having his phone number and everybody calling me. I mean, even for his birthday, I was like, oh, so-and-so said happy birthday.
Tell him I said thank you.
So-and-so said happy birthday. No. So, you know, I
love everybody, but a part of my boundaries is that everybody has to go through Blair to get to me.
See, and then
Blair's
does
my
Blair
boundary.
have a boundary then? You know?
I don't get to have a boundary.
You don't get to have
I don't
a
get to
boundary.
have one. I don't get to have a boundary.
No, Blair don't get that.
I don't get to have a boundary.
Everybody
because
comes to Blair.
Demo said we don't have
because I have
boundaries.
to,
for me too.
no, I have to be, I am our external relations director in both business and in our personal lives. So
for very good
it's
reason.
true. It's yeah, this is true too. This is true.
Yeah.
I love you all. I
but
promise.
yeah, I mean, it is to your point and to answer your question though,
Yeah.
it is something that is, you know, I have to sometimes make a post for the, you know, for the bit and put the phone down for a while and kind of leave it or watch something or whatever, because it's not just social. It's both things, and they have come to, and especially over the last year, where I mean that's how we got here, right? Everything is inside. All contact was virtual, and so that I think it elevated the engagement, elevated the way that so that's one of the things I'm glad we're able to now be re-entering into the world in kind of in some ways, because I miss real human contact.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I got that second shot on I think it was the day after Easter, like April 5th is when I got my second.
Hey.
I was like, yo, I'm ready to start seeing people again. And even today, like I emailed a friend who was instrumental in me getting a new opportunity that I'll announce maybe sometime in the next week or so. And yeah, come on, opportunities. And so I was like, you know, I said, send me a Cash App so I can like send you a bottle of wine as a thank you. And she was like, no Cash App, no bottle. We're gonna meet up in person. And I say, yes, I accept. We will. When it gets warm, we're gonna meet up in person, you know. So
that's the word.
We need to do that too.
Oh yes,
we're coming up this summer. We'll be up this summer.
You know, I'll be in DC.
We hitting the streets, y'all.
Oh, you coming here?
No, I mean I don't know when, but I'll be, I'll be down
Trust me, y'all. We're hitting the whole streets.
And we're hitting the streets, y'all. We're ready. We're ready.
Get ready.
But
so, yeah. You have influenced and inspired so many people. Just, I mean, not just, you know, young, rich Emiratis, but who are some of the people who've inspired you along your journey?
Yes, I knew this question was coming, and yet and still, I'm like, I don't know that I have direct names, but I have like the types of people. So one category of people that like daily inspires me are my crew. Are my crew. And it's not like a crew of people like I'm hanging out with them every day, but like it's the folks who I've acquired along the way, along the journey. And it's like, you know, my best friend, she inspires the heck out of me. Like this chick, we were in high school together, and she went from being like in a 2-year college to like maybe doing whatever, to like getting a job at one of the UCs in California, being on staff, to then getting the university to pay for her bachelor's degree, even though it took a while, to then like literally getting her law degree. So when I think back to when she was like in junior college, and it's like, well, what are you doing? You know, not on a judgment thing, but it's just like you couldn't have painted the the line, and here she is, like a public defender here in Brooklyn. I am so inspired. My brother has had all kind of things going on in his life over the years, and still has lived a very charmed life. You know what I mean? And so, and you know, started his own empire. You know, he's on that, like, we're not on the plantation. Like we're entrepreneurs. We're starting our own, and we're building it from up. And I sit and I watch him every single day, like build that thing, and that's so dope to me. Inspired. Dominique, you owe it, girl. I'm so inspired by this young lady. I also known her since high school, and I have watched how she has like put
veteran of the San Perkins Series
to actually become. What you win? The Pulitzer? The
Oh no, she's a Peabody Award. She is a Peabody Award winner.
Hello.
I remember when, and like here we are today. You know what I mean? Blair and Dottin-Haley. Y'all inspire me because here you are manifesting in real time. And like anybody that has the ability to actually take your thoughts, because your thoughts are things, and to take those thoughts to put them on paper or type them into your phone or whatever, and then actually put like the movable, actionable faith behind that vision. Like, those are the people that inspire me, you know, people that are speaking things into existence. Those are the people that inspire me. And then also anybody that, like myself, has had more than one career, right? I really do. I respect the people that, like, they majored in finance and they've been working in finance, you know, for 15 years, whatever, or they, you know, they want to be an educator. And like, God bless the educators. That's a calling. It is a, you gotta be called to the pulpit, you gotta be called to the classroom. So like,
Come on.
But I'm really inspired by the folks that are like, oh, I lived this particular section of my life, and now I'm going this way, onto this way. And I'm going to live this path for a little while. And now I'm going this way. Why? Because life is not a dress rehearsal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've changed your mind. It doesn't matter if you decided you wanted to do something else. You could have been doing X, Y, and Z, and now you want to do something else. Well, then guess what? You get to do something else because you're still alive. You know.
You're still alive. Come on now. And preach tonight.
Come on, somebody.
Come on, somebody.
You get to because you are still alive.
You get to because you're still alive. You know, this idea that whoever, you know, if people understand you to be something, then you don't get to change that. I love reinvention. Reinvent.
Yes.
Reinvent.
Yes. Reinvent. Do something else.
Yes.
So we talked about the walking nerve ending.
Yes. Which is available on Amazon.
That's what I was about to come on.
Which is available on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
So, or directly through your girl, Mai Perkins. Yes.
Everybody, make sure you are following. As we said, if you missed any of this extraordinary chat with my HU Bison sister, someone who I have known and loved for so long, and I'm so grateful for all of the love
that's all I have for you,
that we have shared over these years. So much love and life and laughter. I'm so grateful. Tell everybody how else we can support you.
Oh, how can you support? You know, I feel very supported in my life. So for the folks that know me personally, the way that they can continue is just to do what y'all been doing. You know what I mean? I'm a giver. I'm an empathetic person. I care about folks. I care about folks I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell this story. I'm going to make it short, but like, I like to try to make people's day. I like to try to make people smile. I like to try to surprise people. I'm not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but when I have a little bit, I like to try to like, what can I do for somebody? And so last year, I read this article about how this older woman, maybe like in her 80s or late 70s or something, bought her first house in North Carolina. And I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, auntie bought a house, her first house now. And so I posted the article, and then another girlfriend of mine who's thebomb.com, she's like, let's send her a housewarming gift. And I'm like, I'm on it. I'm going to figure out, this is so stalkerish, please don't, but I was like, I'm going to figure out where this house is in North Carolina. I'm going to get the address because, of course, she just closed, so it should be public. And we're going to send gifts. And so over the next, 12 hours or so, I'm texting folks, hey, this is the address. Go on Amazon, find a nice housewarming gift, and just send it to Miss Auntie. What's her name? I can't even think of it right this moment because I don't know her. But all I know is that those gifts started showing up at her home, and to this day we've not met. I hope to meet her one day, but just like those little things. Even one time when the pandemic first hit, I was like, you know what? You may have remembered this, Blair. I think maybe you saw it, but I was just like, hey, who needs help with something? If you need help with something, let me know. And if I can help you this week, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Right? And if I can't help, I'm going to pray that the help that you need comes directly to you and everything. And folks started like putting everything, not everything, but folks started putting different things in that they might need help with. And those that I can help, boom, no problem. Let's go. Let's do it. And those that I couldn't, I stood, like, I believe in prayer. You know what I mean? So I was like, I pray for like the means and like the door, the path to open up.
And the fact that they asked, they're putting it out into the universe helps them get help.
Put it out there, you know.
And this is the fabric and texture of the person that you have been since our paths crossed at Howard University some years ago. You know, and you know, this idea of lifting as you climb that we talk a lot about here. You epitomize that in so many ways, in the way that you not only navigate the world around you and the work that you've done with your hands and your feet and your voice in this life that you share some of us with, but shared with us tonight, but also how you have shown up for your tribe and your circle, and for those of us who have been blessed and fortunate to have crossed your path and been able to be blessed by your extraordinarily generous and warm and loving heart and spirit. We have a tradition here of giving people their flowers while they can smell them. And I'm so grateful that we get to share this moment. I'm so grateful for the light that you are beaming into the world. The light. You so foolish. I'm not talking about in real time, but I am also talking about in real time.
Thank you.
Because it is so your light is so life-giving and so healing.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we have a lot of personal stories, and I won't tell the one that you know that is one of my favorites, but it was a time in my life where I needed somebody to tap me on the shoulder. And it takes somebody to love you sometimes more than you know or love yourself at the time. To be able to say to you, listen, I love you, and this is why you tripping. I am so grateful for your work, for your love, for your intention.
Yes.
Oh, intention. I love that you said that word, because that's another thing. The people that inspire me are those that like actively like fulfill like intention-based actions. You know what I mean?
That's real.
Like, also, and to that, like a lot of times, again with the social media thing, but like folks get so bent out of shape and offended all the time about like back and forths on threads and all this other stuff. But like, I want folks, I'll talk about me. I don't care what people are doing. I mean, I do, but I do care, but the idea that like sometimes people's intentions are not to offend, and so like if we could just spend a little time, a little nuanced thinking sometimes about like what people's intentions are and what they say they are, and I mean that's loaded, and I'm not talking about anything specific, but just this idea that like sometimes people say things and like their intention is not to offend anybody. You know, like to say, black people are not a monolith. And so for a monolith, that means that we're going to be thinking and doing different things. And so you can't be offended by difference. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So with all that you are doing, and we want to make sure everybody continues to give you your flowers, because you are just lighting up the whole, just lighting it up.
I love you so much.
What do you hope to be the legacy of
Fly Mai's
legacy?
16.
You know, my legacy really is to I don't know, to continue being a light, you know, for somebody to actually feel like because they cross my path at any given point, they feel like whatever that moment is better than if they had not. Does that make sense? So like sometimes I'm just passing through, you know, and that's the truth. A lot of times I'm just passing through. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't have 24 months to give to something. You know?
Right.
But if I can leave it better than when I arrived, if I can leave you feeling better when I leave them, and you know, I'm still working on it. It doesn't always pan out that way. But I was at lunch the other day at Claudetti's in the city. And I'm sitting there and the food is so good. Thank God I had opportunity, you know, to go and eat some really delicious food last week. So I'm at Claudetti's and like the waiter, he just had like this aura about him. And so Asian guy, you know, I'm not really sure what his ethnicity was. He could have been Thai or you know, Chinese. So but he's taking my, you know, order. He's taking our order. And so I'm like, are you an artist? And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, there's something about you. Like, I can see it. I can read it and everything. And he was just so blown away. I said, you're a visual artist, aren't you? And he was like, how do you know this? He was like, is it my, I was like, I don't know. I want you, since I figured out just by looking at you that you're a visual artist, then I need you to continue doing what you do. He was just so, he was walking around in a daze, like, I can't believe this lady just, right. Because I can't believe this lady just figured me out like this. And I was like, I don't know why I figured you out like this, but you apply. Like, something's coming up, apply for it. Get your Instagram together, like whatever you need to do. And he just felt like, even when we walked out, he just felt like, wow. Wow. And that's what I want my legacy to be. I want folks to be wowed, not by me, but I want them to be wowed by like what I can say to them that is so meaningful and so important. I want God to use me. That's what I want my legacy to be. I want God to talk through me and to, you know, my parents are ministers. I'm probably not going to be a minister. Like I left my
but
you've been serving up a sermon today.
All the way through the chat without me tearing up, sis. Friend. Listen, we got all the way through, almost to the end.
A sermon on tonight.
And when you talk about ministry, you talk about intention.
Yeah.
That's all that ministry really is. It's about finding the intersection.
Yes, sir.
Of the purpose of your life, your service to humanity, and the intention to lift other people with it. That is the definition of ministry. So thank you, my love, for self-actualizing in a way. I'm gonna get you for this. That allows you to walk up to Asian waiters, strangers.
Listen, you feel me?
Speaking to their life
and
like
do
that.
for them what you have done for those of us who have been blessed to have crossed your path and got to stay. It is such a beautiful thing to watch and to bear witness to your light. It's so bright that you can just go to enjoy Claudetti's and change and touch somebody's life.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about. Listen.
And this boy, he was like, he literally was in the days like, how do you know this? He's like,
listen,
it
come
be
on,
like that when you got it.
I'm so glad you told that story at the end of this, because the folks who are in the room who know you know that is you all day and 4 times on Sunday. I'm so grateful for you, my love. I'm so thankful that God blessed me with all of these years of our friendship together. It's been such a joy.
I do
appreciate such a blessing.
That. You know.
Yes. Let's take some pictures.
Picture time.
Pictures.
Y'all, this has been a whole blessing.
I love you so much, darling.
Oh my God, I'm really, I'm not, you have some bomb guests on here, Vanessa.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hello, and
So
y'all
yes, we do.
forever a veteran of the
Yes, we
Savage
do.
Chat series.
Yes, we do.
Y'all, please make sure you are
Man,
following.
go get the book.
Fly My 16.
Yeah.
Go get
The Walking Nerve Ending.
Nerve Ending by.
Go get both of them.
Right, get both editions.
Go
One
get
and
Both
two.
editions.
Get both editions.
They are available on Amazon, but you can also get it directly from Mai Perkins.
If you want a signed copy, of course, and you know, thank you. You know, sometimes I'm sitting in here feeling very mundane and average, and you know, feeling like there's so much more I could be doing. You know, and again, that goes back to that whole like, you know, comparison. And all that.
You got it, sis. You doing everything that you need to do.
Everything that, and rejuvenating. Like again, to your point, last year really was.
It was. Yeah.
Thank God we're still here, still standing.
Thank God we're still here. Well, that leads me to what I wanted to say as we go. You know, because of how the world has unfolded in the last year, and because of this is a time in history, if no other time, where people should hopefully be taking the leaps, be listening to the spirit that says to them, go, jump, move, because tomorrow is not promised. You don't know when you might be stuck inside for a year. Go, do, move,
just go.
And so the light that you are spreading, that is giving people permission to do that, both indirectly by watching your light, but directly by waiting on you at Daddy's.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, my love. What do you want to leave with the people?
Do I have time to read one poem?
Absolutely.
Take all the time you need.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm gonna read this poem. It's on my laptop.
Take your time, baby.
Take all your time.
Take your time.
We ain't going nowhere. Everybody, get yourself a drink.
Everybody, settle in for a second.
Settle in.
Let's settle in for a second. We about to get a live reading. Let's go.
And this one, this actually is not in the book, but so last year I was asked to write a poem I don't want to say in commemoration of, but around the time of the George Floyd protest, and talking about police brutality and like the lives lost, and I was like, gosh, this is so heavy. I'm not really sure how I want to approach it. But I thought about, again, back to the muse, I had been thinking about like daffodils around New York, and I never knew the backstory to them. But every spring I would see like, oh, these daffodils pop up everywhere. They're so gorgeous. Oh, they're yellow. Oh, so lovely. And come to find out after doing the research, like, oh, these daffodils are in commemoration. They're like a living memorial to all of the victims of the 9/11 tragedy, September 11th, 2001. To this day, every spring, daffodils blossom in commemoration of the lives lost in the World Trade Center. Nobody knows that. You only know that if you're like me. You do the research to figure out why there are daffodils every year, right? The Dutch government like gave the initial donation of bulbs, and New York has continued this living memorial. And so that got me thinking last year, so like, where's the living memorial for all of the dead Black people that have been killed by police officers, right? And I think about a friend of mine from Howard, you probably knew him as well, Prince Jones, who was murdered by a Prince George's County police officer in 2000, like a whole year before 9/11. He has never gone viral. People do know about him now because of Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, Between the World and Me, and the film. And so people have gotten an understanding of who Prince was. And I'm really grateful to have to have known him, to actually meet him my first day on campus. Like my mother and I were on campus, and Prince was like, "Oh, let me tell you how to get to. Hi, my name is. Let me show you how to get to. You know what I mean?" So like, I always thought about during like all of the discussion about, you know, like Black men and Black women that have been killed by police, and like those who were killed by police after social media, so they were able to be a hashtag and trend, and then those who we don't really know their names unless you knew them. Where's their daffodils, right? And so I wrote this poem last year, for Prince Jones and for George Floyd and for, you know, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We would like to pray that like the list actually stops. We want the list to stop. We want to stop adding names to the list of Black people that have been killed, unarmed Black people. So anyway, let me get into this poem. It's called Daffodils. There are no daffodils of hope for the Black bodies slain. Floral bell-shaped memorials of annual bloom. Though the pain and rally cries of true justice remain, there are no daffodils of hope for the Black bodies slain. Violence on viral loop symbolizes bloodstain. Unrest across the US smolders and fumes. There are no daffodils of hope for the Black bodies slain, while violence on viral loop symbolizes bloodstain. Agitation, the pressure to de-escalate, retrain, the trauma of fatal encounters exhumed, as the rage of unarmed Black victims remain, agitating the pressure to de-escalate and retrain. Demands for dignity, to treat Black citizens humane. The sidewalks of Staten Island to Minneapolis, a tomb. Where are the daffodils of hope for the Black body slain? Demands for dignity to treat Black citizens humane. Excessive force by cops on unarmed Blacks is insane. Their badge and brute conduct a racist heirloom. Though the pain and rally cries for true justice remain, excessive force of any type on unarmed Blacks is insane. So in these streets and in these tweets, till these cops are arraigned, let's plant sustainable seeds of revolution rose blooms. That's a little tongue-tied. I'm gonna say it again. So in these streets and in these tweets, till the cops are arraigned, let us plant sustainable seeds of revolution rose blooms, because there are no daffodils of hope for the Black body slain, though the pain and rally cries for true justice remain. That's daffodil.
Ladies and gentlemen, family. Mai Perkins.
The one and only.
The one and only. We love you so much,
Thank
my love.
you.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate y'all.
all of your love and all of your light
appreciate
and
you.
all of your work. If you missed any of this extraordinary chat, we are uploading it to our wall right now. We will be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Wednesday.
It is the hump. We're gonna get over the
tomorrow
hump.
night. We will be joined. We have two guests tomorrow night by R&B singer and management guru Ashley Scott, and then actor, writer, director,
extraordinary black woman
from Candyman, from Soul Food the series, Vanessa Williams. is joining us tomorrow night. It's going to be incredible. My love, we love you so much.
Thank you so much for your art.
Let me say really quickly, happy upcoming birthday to my goddaughter on Friday. Mia Pia, she's gonna be 6, and my niece on May 1st is going to be 3. All the baby girls are turning; they're getting older. So I want to say happy birthday to both of them.
Yes.
Thank you so much
for
being a
Thank you,
light.
Blair.
We love you.
We love you.
Thank
Love you so much.
Everybody,
have a good
have a
night.
great
We'll
Good
night.
night.
We'll see
Thank you
y'all
for
tomorrow.
listening, guys. See you guys.
Of course.
Of course,
Everybody go get the Walking Nerve ending, y'all.
Now. Bye, baby.
Peace.
Peace.